So when you get here and you're all set up, you should take a little bit of time to collect yourself, get your notes, do a self-massage, stretch a little bit quietly, or help other people get set up. So we don't start with a higher energy of sort of usual human interaction. How are you doing? What's that? This happened. Then the water's on a boil. Right? So if you're all set, then how can you help somebody else? Can I get you a pillow? Did you know we're gonna lay down?
I didn't know.
Right. So somebody should have told you. So you want a blanket under you?
He did tell you. I'm so sorry. I turned that off.
Oh yeah, she turned mine off. I forget, because when I go to meetings, I already have a program with an app to turn itself off at certain intervals.
So you're gonna want a blanket under you, like this. Yeah, under.
Yeah,
Before,
this one in there.
no, before we start, you want one under you,
Okay.
so that when we transition, it doesn't become now we got our place ready. You know what I mean? When we lie back, we're going to have no pillow or the least amount of pillow. So maybe a slightly rolled blanket, an inch, you know. But if you don't fit on the mat when you lay back, and your feet are going to be off the mat, you may want a pillow or a blanket there so that you don't find a cold spot.
Too much.
Yeah, there you go. So when you lay back with your legs straight, you're gonna not find anything cold or hard.
I put the pillow on.
This is cold.
What's supposed to be?
There you go. Now you're doing what you already knew. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this foot keeps grabbing.
Okay.
I think so.
Welcome. Namaste. So, I'm just talking a little bit about the external. So the doctor can't shrink down and jump in your lymphatic vessels and find out the problem, or shrink down and go in your bloodstream or walk across your bones. So they have to look at how you're limping, look at what your tongue looks like, look at your skin, look at are your eyes glazed over or red, that that sort of thing. In other words, if the doctor is trying to understand something about what's wrong inside, what's going on inside, but they are stuck outside, right? So they're taking all these measures from outside, right? Looking what your eyelids are doing, and are your cheeks flushed, and are you limping, and whatever it happens to be. But they're not interested in those things. They're interested in what those tell them about something inside. Right? The external reflects the internal. If they could be internal and just teleport inside you in some way, then they wouldn't really much care if your cheeks are flushed or not. I went inside and I visited your liver and I figured it out. So this is the same challenge that we have in the arts that I teach, which are all internal. I can't just go inside you and then here's what you do, here's how it should feel. I can just say, put your elbow here, breathe this way, cock your head this way, relax your knees that way. I can just adjust, affect, respond to, interact with the external. I'm not really interested in the external, but it always feels a little bit like if you pick up a pot, there's a handle, and you pick, and different pots have different types of handles, right? But they're kind of made for that pot, and when it gets to, they always kind of feel appropriate. It's the right kind of handle. But it always kind of feels like I have like a handle made out of, you know, something soft, and it's like, oh, this is it's hard to pick up this pot, you know, whatever, with this handle that's a little, you know, rubbery or whatever. And it kind of always feels like what I'm trying to do as a teacher is affect the pot, but I don't have the appropriate handle. I'm stuck saying your knee, your elbow, your shoulder blades, your posture, but I'm interested in the inside. But it feels like all I can do is use my hands, my eyes, my language, which are imperfect handles for the vessel. Okay? And I use the pot and the vessel analogy partly because I think it's visual, but also because when we're talking about the pot, we're still not interested in the pot. We're interested in dinner. What's in it? Tell me what's in it again? That's what I want to know, right? So the external gets commented on, addressed, adjusted, talked about, seen, videotaped, you know, in all these arts, but it isn't the point. But it is quite helpful, maybe because we've made it helpful, it's all we can do. Because it is a handle, it can affect the inside, however imperfectly, and it does reflect the inside quite accurately. You know, the doctor can tell you quite a lot. I've had a few Chinese doctors, I just walk in the room and they tell me a bunch. And I didn't even get on the table. And then we just spend the time having tea. They've already given me the diagnosis and stuff. And they say, well, we do still have our 25 minutes when it's have tea. So meditation, of course, is this internal art, this whole practice of being in here and all the rest. But let's all take a look at Sarah and her red blanket. Look deeply at Sarah. That's, okay, right. So now look at Ethan's blanket and tell me who's going to need medicine. Right? So that reflects something inside. Right? Now, if we just measure it externally, Ethan's just as warm as Sarah, and his blanket is under him just like Sarah. And like, if we're just measuring, that's fine. I mean, that does function as an external function. You have a blanketage happening, right? But if that is like that, that tells me, like, I know who put that there. So that tells me how you are. It tells me what you care about, what you gave your attention to, right? it's not a be and all end all, and this is not coming from I need things neat. It's, you know, it's not this external thing like it needs to be neat in my school. That's not the point. The point is I can see what's going on. Hers is usually neater, but she came in and then brought a little bit of guilt for being late, and so she hurried a bit instead of remembering the initial lesson. Take the time you need to make it as it can be. Same as you saw. I was like, is it going to be cold? Is it going to go? It's fine. I'm like, you haven't looked. You're just giving me a quick answer because you want not to be the guy that's slowing the class down, right? But then that is reflected. Look at your mat. So I can tell you the quality that your meditation will be because I see where you started. Now I imperfectly see, you know, like that's not the same as me actually being inside you, but I've gotten good at it. And you can get good at seeing from the outside a reflection of what's on the inside. So this same idea of taking the time to address things, have your notebook, have your water, have the blanket, have an extra blanket, have whatever the sort of things are. And it's a little different tonight because we set it up to lay down. But over the weeks, you probably figured, like we know Jen has the 3 purple blankets that she likes a certain way. And and we kind of, it gets easier. Like I kind of know how I like it or where you like to sit. But just because it gets easier doesn't mean its value diminishes, right? You still want to apply yourself to it because how you apply yourself to getting your space affects the state from which you start, right? It's a little bit like if you are at the start of a race, but you didn't hydrate and stretch out. I mean, you're technically there on time and they do the gun, but probably you're the one that gets the pulled muscle or gets a little defeated and deflated when, you know, partway through the race when it gets really difficult and there's a hill in front of you. But if you had hydrated and had a nice sleep and then, you know, stretched out, you're born through your own hand into a state that's into a space that's going to create the state that's closer to what you're aiming for, whether it's the race or life or what have you. So in a meta sense now we're just talking having the blanket and so on and so forth. Having, in a meta sense, when we come into class, it's the same thing. If it's just another community of people, how you doing? Here's a joke. Hey, I saw you at the thing. And here's the coupon I was telling you about last week. If there's too much of that that's high energy or long lasting, then that affects everybody getting into the state, and it certainly affects you getting into the state. And it maybe means that we don't quite have, you start to feel the time pressure to do your blanket, and then because we chatted too much about this or that isn't really particularly germane to the meditation, then you do hurry that, which changes your meditation, which changes the quality of the room that we're all meditating in because you had a lousier meditation. You know what I mean? So I know this is sounding like disciplinarian-ish, which is not my intent. I'm trying to shape an understanding of the forest, not just the tree. Kind of makes sense? And again, I'm not trying to say the moment you walk in, everybody lights incense and bows and shaves their head. I'm not trying to say that, because there should be some life. Like, hey, how are you? And that is, and here's the coupon. But maybe more outside, maybe a little more minimal inside, or like trying to get through it and realize here's what we're here for. I'm set, but Sarah's, you know, stuck with something on her phone. Let me get her blanket for her, or see if, can I bring you, I'm over here, can I bring you a pillow, or I noticed you left your water, I'll get it, that kind of a thing, you know. All right, I'll close my eyes so you can all roll your eyes at me. That's on tape though, so. Okay, does anybody have comments or questions about that? Yeah. So a lot of times I'll say, you know, hey, you're gonna it's not just do you externally need it in this sort of objective way. It's embarking on the energy and the expression of caring for your space and your state, right? And it's that practice that you bring to every meditation, every practice. Like, I'm not measuring this by do I externally need the blanket or the whatever, but I'm going through this process of paying attention to creating born by my own hand, my space, which I don't just mean physical geometric space, but that's why I say space leads to state. And then that leads to a fuller life of practice. Right? So these are not unconsidered things when I say, hey, you might want to get an extra blanket in case your legs come off the mat. I'm sure you could do it. I mean, you could meditate in Times Square. I mean, yeah, you can. But nobody has a sojourn to Times Square for their meditation. You could if you were there, sure. You go to the Himalayas to meditate or something. You don't plan to go there. So take that time and understand that's what we're doing. I think of it as on-ramping into the experience. So it's you driving here, it's you pulling in, it's you talking to people outside, it's you coming into the space, it's you set up the blankets. Those are all the on-ramp to the experience. Right? And it's a community, so we're a bunch of imperfect people and it's going to be how it is. I mean, of course. But we are endeavoring to at least have a taste of that because it will be reflected in our own practice. Right? So this is not important from a ritualistic standpoint. It's important because how we enter becomes how we become. Right? Okay. So let's just sit in the space that we're in. You can have eyes open or closed. I'm trying not to leave the place that I'm in either by wandering the mind or bringing it inside myself, which I might ordinarily do in meditation. I'm just trying to be cognizant of the state of the space I'm in, which is of my own making. And slowly expand that awareness to the space of your neighbor or neighbors. You don't have to do it visually, but you can. Is how your neighbors are is one of the ingredients in your space. Which becomes one of the ingredients in your state. Becomes one of the ingredients in your practice, which becomes one of the ingredients in your life. to some extent, the state of your neighbor's space was influenced by your state of entry. And then slowly extend your awareness to the whole Sangha here, the whole group. And just allow into your awareness the qualities, whether named or otherwise, of their space. Your space affects theirs, theirs affects yours. The way they entered this space affects the way you brought into alignment your space, which affects your state, which affects their state, which affects your practice, which affects their practice, which affects your life, which affects their life, which affects the Sangha's life. I think of this as salting the soup. All 3 gallons of soup just do not taste good. And you had like 10 granules of salt. It's like, oh, how did that little bit make such, like it's edible now? Amazing. Okay, I'll just kind of come back into it now. Anybody have anything they'd like to share or ask or say? So, a neatly folded blanket reflects a mind that gives attention to neatly folding. You know? How was that? Was anybody able to reach out and sense some of those things? Not judgmentally. Get a load of Tony. But just kind of tuning into.
I judged.
Yeah.
I found that I was like, as I was expanding, like, me too. Yeah.
But how immediate was the judging?
Not
Because-
so immediate.
So you may have done what I asked. It just then its half-life, found it.
I kind of like, I felt like a really subtle different quality once I brought it out to the whole group. But then I started like searching for different, like the individuals. So I was like, all right, let me like, for some reason I went straight to Jen. I was like, I bet Jen's overthinking this. I wonder what she I bet like, she's all in her head right now and like bad energies. And I was like, no, I'm just making that up. So I just stayed back to myself.
And Jen meanwhile was just worried that you were thinking about her.
Garrett probably thinks I'm overthinking.
Yeah. I'm like, stop overthinking. Garrett's gonna know.
Garrett's making a list,
Yeah.
he's checking it twice.
And he's gonna run
That's
this and
funny.
jump for the pen.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Red mark. That's funny. Anybody else able to sense the states?
A bit,
Were you able to feel your own?
yes.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
But I wasn't quick to judge anybody else that I
Uh-huh.
felt in the room. I was just trying to feel.
You were able to come out to neighbors though?
Yes.
And then coming wider, was that doable or
Yeah.
iffy?
Yes. No.
Okay.
There's just no judgment in it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. But you were able to sense it, and yeah,
Yes.
that's great. That's what I was going for. Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else?
I never know my space, so you were all in my space immediately.
Uh-huh.
And
I
I'm not
definitely.
going to follow directions either.